We have the pleasure of welcoming Ward Christman today to our interview series Leaders Hum. I'm Sumita Mariam from the peopleHum team. Before we begin, just a quick introduction of peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Coding Award for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year, and publish around two interviews with well-known names globally every month. And now for our guest, Ward Christman is the founder of HR Tech Advisor and the co-founder of HR Tech Alliances. With an experience of over 2 decades in the recruiting world, Ward is someone who is always updated on the latest technologies. He has a special expertise in employee referral, ATA solutions, and job marketing. He's been an advisor for HR companies to improve indirect sales and partnerships. We are happy to have someone of his stature on our interview series. Welcome, Ward. We're thrilled to have you.
Hi, well, thanks. I'm glad to be part of this and look forward to our conversation.
Great. So, Ward, the first question I had for you is, can you tell us a little bit about your work with HR Tech Advisor?
Well, where do I start? It's been a great, almost 30 years actually in the HR tech space. So really taking a lot of the experience growing different HR tech companies and helping advise the ones out there now trying to make a difference for our industry. And what we've done as part of advising the different vendors on how to better collaborate with their other HR tech vendors in their ecosystem. And it's not easy, but collaboration is definitely a thing of the future of work. And it's up to the vendors to provide better solutions for their employers or the customers. And that's what we're advising on, how to better collaborate with sometimes their competitors and certainly with their partners in the industry so that their mutual customers get better solutions.
Wow. So there are like a lot of HR technologies that's definitely easing a lot of HR executives' lives. So, like coming to the HR part of it, managing people is a very emotional experience, a very emotional, maybe confusing, or even very chaotic. So, how do you believe technology can play a role in helping understand, manage, and grow people's function?
Well, a lot of today there's all these great individual tools like your mobile phones. You can ask Google almost anything and you usually get something useful back, and that's only going to improve. And HR and the HR tech companies are rising to the challenge of providing on-demand things like on-demand training, on-demand answers. You've got chatbots and all kinds of things that can help people adapt quickly, get information or answers to their questions. And that's where I think it's making the biggest difference. And, if people's biggest concern and what they worry about is things they don't know about, right? Once you have the facts, even if they're not great, it could be bad information or not bad, but not the information you want to know or hear. But once you know what's going on, getting that information out of your HR systems is huge. That takes more of the worry away from people that are trying, especially in these times, trying to figure out what to do next and what are the answers to my questions. So that's where I think HR tech can help make a big difference. And usually it's not just one system that can do that, right? So it's the vendors working together to provide just-in-time information to the people that need it when they need it.
Yeah, so you were talking about the current scenario. So what do you think are the changes that will be like inevitable for workplaces and the workforce in the coming months once we recover from this? Or we don't know if we will recover really soon. So what do you think is, is waiting for us in the coming months?
Well, as people are kind of getting back to work, so to speak, and more productive, it may take a while till they get back to the same levels they were before. And sadly, some employers have, I think, reacted too quickly to cut their staff and so forth. So not that we've had too many resources available internally. We're usually short of resources, both human resources and technology resources, right? So, right now, certainly people are trying to make do with less. And many people I've talked to have more work than they used to because they've got their regular job. Now they also have to deal with all these changes and trying to sort out what do they do about it, right? And how do we support our teams, our partners, and how do we adapt the technology to make it easier? So I think what we're seeing is a lot more focus on productivity, helping employees not just stay engaged, but help them collaborate with their peers, give them, especially if they have to work from home right now or remote working, it's always had its pluses and minuses like everything, but how do you connect the people that need to be connected quickly and easily so they can get their jobs done? And for particularly those that aren't used to it, it's a big change. And that's where, the various tools in HR technology and even some of the service companies that can step up and help provide, like I said earlier, the information on demand that they need to not only do their job, but also adapt to the new work environment.
Yeah, so like we're all moving to the remote work culture. The entire world is working from home. So how do you think technology is important in the human resource world, or how much should be the importance of investing in technology for human resources be? How can you improve the employee experience or the organizational experience as a whole? And what do you think is the investment that we need to do? What is the range of it, and how is it important?
Well, for any HR or HRIT people that are watching or listening to this, the advice is pretty simple. Really focus on the tools that are going to make a difference, and really put your providers or vendors, put them on point and say, look, here's what we need. And that's really what they want anyway. They want feedback from their customers saying, what can you do for us, or what should we be doing for you as our customer to make your job easier? Sometimes they don't know. Actually, a lot of times they don't know, and they're afraid to admit it, right? So, the best thing that can happen is open up the communication channels, be honest with your vendors. If you are a vendor, ask for feedback and ask them, what's missing? What do you need that we don't have? Most vendors, the executives running these HR tech companies, even the HR service companies, their daily struggle is answering the question, do we build, buy, or partner? And there's companies that are on one side that, they want to build everything for their customers. There's some on the other side where they're willing to partner and bring together best of breed solutions so that they can get that information they need, quickly through the technology. Both take time. Usually the happy medium's in the middle. So then the question is, how do they get there? And sometimes the, build, buy, or partner, the buying part, if the vendor has the resources to acquire another technology platform, maybe now's a good time to buy if you're going to go that route. Or, partner with an investment company to make that acquisition. We certainly recommend on the collaboration side of things to consider partnering first and to date, if you will, to make sure it works, not just for the customer, the mutual customer, but if you're going to, buy another resource versus building it or long-term partner, make sure that, together your organizations can collaborate and work well together and service the customer. And, that's important. And I think if you're a consumer of the technology, you need to talk to your vendor supplier, say, look, here's what we have with you. Here's what we have with these others. We're missing these pieces. Do you have that? A lot of times they do. And the customer doesn't even know it. A lot of times the salespeople don't even know what they have in-house, let alone know what their partners might have available to them. So, having the opportunity to first say, get the customers, or if you're the customer, tell them what you're looking for, where you're struggling, what you need. Communicate. Even if you don't think they have it, perhaps one of their partners has it and they just delivered it yesterday to a different customer, right? So get that communication flowing, tell them what you need. If you're the vendor, ask them, what is it that you're looking for? If we don't have it, perhaps we know somebody that does. It might be a partner, it might not be a partner. Get that, communication flowing so that you're going to get better results that way, frankly. And if they don't help you with that, go find, a different supplier that is willing to go that extra mile for you, because that's what's important is, what's the customer's need. And chances are there's another vendor out there that would love to partner with you and provide that and share in the, the mutual benefits of not just helping that mutual customer, but also enjoying of course, the extra revenue that might be, make all the difference in their survival and, ability to continue providing these to the market. So build, buy, or partner. What's the right answer? There isn't really a right answer, but there's usually a good answer for the customer, and you need to have that discussion and figure out what the best approach would be.
Yeah, what? So, in your experience in working with HR tech, right? So, what do you think are the most frequent demands or the features that everyone wants to be incorporated in, say, a human capital management platform? So, what would you say is the most needed for organizations out there?
My goodness, where do you start? I mean, all companies have needs, and they, again, usually don't get addressed. I mean, certainly in this environment right now, collaboration tools are hot, and they should be, because, again, especially if you're a remote worker, you want to feel like you're in touch with the team, and that's not easy. So anything that helps engage the worker, helps them be more effective and collaborative with their peers and their partners and their customers, of course. So I think that, that's what's really keen to help boost productivity. Absolutely boost it. It'll, increase engagement, and that increases all the good stuff like, happiness in their job. And, from a future work standpoint, I don't see that changing. It really hasn't changed, but what is changing, thankfully, is employers are starting to say, we should engage and better support our remote workforce, which instantly maybe went from 0 to 100% or whatever. So, I think that the tools in the future of work are going to be tied to those kind of tools that can help bring people together to solve the problems for their customers. And, the HR technology is usually, a core part that supports that collaboration between employees or contractors or consultants or whomever is on the team, and hopefully the customers on the team as well, right? So bringing them together, just like we're doing now on the Zoom call, and bring them together in a way that they can connect and collaborate, have appropriate discussions, and get their jobs done in a fun and efficient way. And the extension really of that is, okay, you've got your employees, your contractors, your customers, and if you're running your business in a great way, you've got lots of partners as well that are helping provide, the just-in-time solutions or long-term solutions for your mutual customers. You need to have communication channels working with them. You need to be able to partner with them and go to market together, go out to potential customers or current customers and showcase what you can do together for them, because the reality is the average customer has at least 15 companies that are providing technology, to them. So you've got to have open communication with your partners. You got to be able to connect and collaborate and work on deals together, and tools that are going to bring that together like the hrtechalliances.com, a little shameless plug here, but the platform we built for the industry is really taken off, and the timing couldn't be better because helping the vendors connect and collaborate to discover new business and to win more business is huge right now. And certainly to save your customers, help them together, you need, now is a great time to have good partners. And if you don't, you need to find them fast because it's not going to get any easier really. So yeah, I encourage you to get involved and do more collaboration with your partners to help your mutual customers succeed.
Yeah, so we covered the part of remote workers there, right? So there is another category, rising right now called the gig workers. So how do we fit
Mm.
the gig workers in this whole system? How are they, like what is the increasing relevance? What is it all about? How do we fit them into the
Mm.
concept of future of work?
Yeah. Well, I look at it like, and I've been working the gig worker space since, well, long time now. Let's put it that way. And it varies by country and by even state. In the United States, anyway, most of the states are considered employment at will states, which means today you have a job, tomorrow you might not have a job. And to me, that is a gig worker, right? So it's just because you're an employee doesn't necessarily mean you're guaranteed anything. And contractors or gig workers are maybe even better off because they're kind of already thinking and prepared to win that next project or job or contract, whatever it is that's going to help them do what they enjoy, get paid for their skills and what they're bringing to that customer. And a good employee does the same thing, right? They turn up to work and do their job, but they also are trying to think, what's best for my employer and what's best for the customer. So I think labels, shift, and the formal gig worker that doesn't have one employer, yes, it's going to continue to grow. It has been, and I don't see that stopping. And I think for the most part, it's a good thing. It gives people the chance to do more of what they love and hopefully less of what they don't love. And, for companies that can embrace that, I think they're going to be the most successful. It's just like, embracing diversity and all these other things that are important to a successful, workforce. The gig worker, I think, is probably even easier to make changes that are needed to address the environment, whether it's scaling up, scaling down, trying to become more diverse. I mean, hiring full-time, long-term employees is hard. It's really hard. So, not that contractors doesn't have its own challenge, in the gig worker, but I think it's a little easier to change the recipe on the fly as many companies need to, especially the small and mid-sized companies. It's just in time productivity is kind of how I look at the gig worker.
Yeah, so we have this whole concept of the future of work, right? So can you tell us a little something about gig workers itself with respect to the future of recruiting?
Future recruiting and the gig worker. Well, so as I was just kind of mentioning, the gig worker, I think for companies that are trying to create something special for the market, the gig worker is somebody that can be on demand and available to supply that, whatever that capability is, right? It might be marketing, it might be technology development, it might be sales, whatever. So I think that is the future is here, frankly, in terms of a shift towards that, and it's going to continue to shift there. So I don't see a future being different. If anything, it might accelerate. And, for technology companies that are helping support the discovery of good talent that isn't looking for a full-time, one employer type relationship, I think that's not just the future, but it's already here. And everybody wants a crystal ball and, what is the future work? But reality is it's right in front of you. Nobody has a crystal ball, right? People can project and prognosticate and, think that they can predict the future. Who knows what's going to happen for sure? So nobody. And the reality is, you need to be flexible and adaptable. And I think that's where the gig worker makes it happen. And, we use different platforms to find and manage our remote talent. And it really makes for a more flexible and responsive type capability to our customers. And, I think that's fun and not without challenges, but definitely the future. And, those platforms, I think, for the most part, are doing very well. And if we don't see more of them, we'll certainly see less because of a consolidation, but that's probably the only major difference that I see in the future.
It's interesting, like we have been interviewing quite a few HR influencers, and most of them have the same opinion of the future is now. And we never expected anything to happen right now, and it's right in front of our eyes. So that's very interesting. I really like that concept. Yeah, thank you for that. And so, what coming to our final question, if you have any important sound bites to leave our viewers?
Oh, sound bites. Well, yeah, in terms of the future work and being ready for it. So if you're an employer, again, put your vendors to task and say, look, we need you to play better in the sandbox together because we have unique needs. And if you're not able to work with our other suppliers, our other vendors, we're going to find somebody that can. So you need to, if you're an HR tech executive, you need to think about that statement because that's what they're starting to look at and go, this finger pointing isn't helping if something goes wrong, right? You guys need to work together, collaborate, bring us a solution that feels comprehensive. And the best of both worlds really is, can employers get, specific point solutions for different areas of HR? They're already doing it, but if they work together, then that's the best of both worlds. So from the HR tech vendor side, focus on your partners. Now's a great time to invest in partnerships and alliances, not just to grow your pipeline of deals, but also to help your current customers get a better solution. Work on and look at different ways to streamline integrations and collaboration. Come to hrtechalliances.com, participate in some of our virtual collaboration zones. It gives you a chance to meet new partners, to discuss things with your peers in a roundtable Zoom type environment, and have these very discussions, in a larger setting, because we need to figure this out together. We're in this together, and now's the opportunity to embrace and support your partners, and hopefully they'll return the same in kind. And if not, maybe they're not the right partner for you, and you need to go out and discover some new ones. So hopefully that helps your viewers get some insights on what I think is going to make a huge difference today, and then certainly in the years to come.
Yeah, that is surely going to help our viewers. Well, thank you so much for coming to our interview series. We are so happy, and the last half an hour was such an enriching experience for me. And I've learned so much. Okay, I've learned so much in the last half an hour, and I don't think any textbook can teach. Like listening from an experienced professional himself. So thank you so much for that. I'm sure our viewers are going to gain a lot of knowledge from this. Thank you so much, and let's keep in touch.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.